Hey everybody, welcome to Screen Wings. This is a cat. Great intro. I'm London. Thomas behind the camera. Say hi.
Hello.
Today, I'm going to go through all the board games we own. I say we because I have like 3 of Thomas's board games here. And I don't assume that Thomas owns any other board games.
I don't.
Maybe Monopoly.
No.
So yeah, we're just doing a little unscripted thing. We're just going to go through all my board games so I talk about board games. Yeah, so we're going to start over here in the horror corner. Oh, God. Boom. Bunch of shit. I have a lot of different card games. So Star Wars Destiny, Keyforge. My Magic cards are right here. Miscellaneous, so I have like the Transformers card game. I think I have a Warhammer card game right here. I just really like dead card games, so I'll just randomly buy them for like no money. This game I forgot I bought. I have not played it. I bought it for $1. Yeah, I haven't played it.
The Zoom got. Okay.
Oh God. Yeah, so I put it in there. I forgot it was there because it doesn't fit on a shelf because it's fucking huge. Might not ever play it. Don't really have a care to. Star Wars Destiny stuff, and then these are all just a bunch of different like board game holders. So I have like dice. I have different things that I use to sort my board games. And this is Thomas's little shelf here, plus a playmat. Thomas's favorite game ever, Horrified, because that's the game he loves so much. The Resistance, classic party game. And then this game, Thomas, tell me how much you love this game.
I imagine I'd love it a whole lot. We haven't played it yet.
I haven't played it yet. That's right. I learned the rules when I first picked it up for you, and then I just never played it. More Star Wars Destiny stuff. The Power Rangers core rulebook. Haven't played that yet. I'm just going to be saying that so much. No, there's actually, I think, only like 5 games in my collection I haven't played yet, and most of them are just ones I got from a sale and haven't gotten a chance to. The My Hero card games runs on the Universes system, and it's actually pretty good. Me and Pierre played it, and I was shocked at how much I enjoyed it. Dragonwood, simple little rolling game. It's pretty good. It's one of the first board games I bought, so it's nice to have it around. I probably won't ever get rid of it just because of that. Dungeon Draft is a random game I found at an estate sale for like $2. Just a simple drafting game, but really, really good. Forza Deck Builder, where you play 1 card per turn, and all the other cards you don't play go to the middle, and they represent the kids that you don't play with, because you're all trying to build a childhood fort together. And it's very fun. Under Falling Skies is a single-player game, where it's kind of like Alien Invaders or Galaga or something, where you're just defending against an alien invasion. It's really good. I am trying to get more into solo gaming. This is probably my go-to for solo gaming if I'm actually setting something up. Hive is the best abstract game I own. It's kind of like chess, but way better because chess isn't great. Suro, classic game, plays 2 to 8. It's just like you make a little roller coaster until someone dies. Zathura, haven't played it, but it's Zathura. Star Wars Epic Duels is epic, and it's full of duels.
Oh.
You're going to see a lot of King Domino, but this is the roll and write version. It's okay. I would probably just prefer to play King Domino in any scenario. And actually over that, I'd probably prefer to play Queen Domino. This is a newer one I bought, Land versus Sea. It's you place a bunch of hexagons on it, and one person plays as land, one person plays as sea. You're just trying to connect big pieces together and then finish them off to score them. And then there's actually a pretty cool 3-player mode, and that's the only mode I've played so far. But I really enjoyed that one. One of my favorite guys here, designers, Uwe Rosenberg.
I thought you were going to say Uwe.
Uwe Boll. This is my favorite Uwe. Uwe Boll's probably my second favorite.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, Patchwork is a polyomino tile placement game where you are building a quilt and just trying to fill in all the gaps on a grid. It's very addictive, very easy to learn, plays in like 20 minutes, but I suck at it. Welcome to, you're going to see a lot of roll and writes and flip and writes. This is a flip and write, probably the best flip and write I've played. You're just flipping cards and then using the back of one card and the number on another card to make your perfect neighborhood. Another simple one that plays pretty fast. It's also one of flipping rights and rolling rights you can play with like any player count, so you can play this for like with 100 people. Star-Crossed I got on a sale. I haven't played it yet. It's a little role-playing game for 2 people about forbidden love, where you're trying to like stop yourself from falling in love as much as possible before you eventually you're like, fuck it, I love you. Kind of like me and Thomas in the unending saga of Screenwings.
I see.
Cutthroat Caverns? No idea. Haven't played it yet. Another one I got in an estate sale for like $2. Now this is pod racing here. Super Skill Pinball. It's a roll and write where you're on pinball tables. Fucking incredible. Just One. Thomas, you played this game.
Yeah, I vaguely remember it.
This is Thomas's favorite game. Little fun party game where you're just trying to guess a keyword on a paper and everyone has to give you a 1-word hint, but any hints that are the same hints will go away forever. So you lose hints if they're too similar to each other. It's pretty cool, pretty fun.
Ooh.
Welcome to Dino World. I played the original like kind of beta version of this that came out. There's Gen Con, which is a big convention for like board games, and there's also an online little convention called Gen Can't, because you can't go. But this one's pretty good. I've only played this version like twice. I've played the original like print and play quite a bit. I think maybe by the time I got this, I just kind of lost steam for the original game, but it's still good. There are other better roll and writes. Speaking of flipping rights, Cartographers, you are flipping different zones and then drawing them on your board, building a fantasy map. This is in the same cycle as Role Player, which we'll get to in a bit. This is Cartographers, a role player tale. So kind of like supplemental content where they're games that you're building a fantasy map or building a character. So I like the theme of that. Speaking of insanely cool themes, here's a golfing game. This is the only game I've ever kickstarted. Mm-hmm. Actually, I just kickstarted another one, but this was the first game I kickstarted, where you are building a golf course and then all your friends play on it. And after that golf course, then the next person goes until everyone's built one. It's very fun. I like the way that you roll different sided dice depending on what golf club you're using. It's a fun little one. Very fun. All right, let's stand up. Ugh, I'm old. All right, what's next? Here we go. Let's start up here. These are all small games. Here's 4 different versions of Spot It. I really, really like Spot It, and I feel like if you just change what's on the cards, it actively changes how hard the game is. Like when I first got the Care Bear one, because my partner wanted it, I was fucking awful at that one. Milborn, old game from like the 50s about race cars. It's fun enough. Probably won't stay in my collection for forever. It's just kind of there because a friend of mine said that they really liked it. Sushi Go, a classic little drafting game. 2 to 5 players, takes like 20 minutes. If you just want like a simple drafting game, my favorites are probably Sushi Go or that Dungeon Draft I was talking about earlier. I have 3 versions of Timeline because there was a time that I really enjoyed Timeline. All you do is you have a hand of cards with different events on them and the date, and you're just, or they don't have the date, the date's on the back, and you're just trying to put them in the correct order on the timeline. So, you know, it's a game for nerds. Fox in the Forest, Duet, little simple co-op game where you're trick-taking to try to pick up all the pieces of gems in the forest or something like that. Oriflamme, 3 to 5 player game, pretty good. You are pretty much starting an order of operations on the table. Each card's just going at the front or the back, and then you go through the cycle. It's good. It's good. Botanic is a game that I had never heard of, and I picked it because it looks kind of freaky.
Oh.
Tile placement game where you're laying pipe. Jaipur, little simple buying and selling game. Selling goods, buying camels, selling the camels for more goods, buying the goods for more camels. Classic. One Night Ultimate Werewolf. One Night Ultimate Werewolf, Daybreak, and then Aliens also in there. Really, really good social deduction. I think one of the worst parts about regular Werewolf is the player elimination, and they sit there for half an hour. One Night Ultimate Werewolf only lasts like 7 minutes, so boom, not a problem. Friday is my most played solo game, mostly on the app, but I've played that version quite a bit as well. I probably have like 150 plays of that, and I'm so fucking bad at that game. Skull.
Yeah.
Thomas knows Skull.
I do. I like Skull. It's a very simple game.
Yeah. Thomas, what's Skull about?
Skull. So basically, it's kind of like a bluffing game. You just everyone has like a tile that they use, and it's got either a flower or a skull on it. And you place them down, and it'll go in like order. And basically, your job is to try and fake other people out so that they pick a pile with a skull on it. That way, they lose basically a limb, and they got like 2 limbs before they're just out. And it's just basically about like bluffing or calling other people's bluffs or staying safe. I usually just stay safe most of the game, and then I end up winning.
Yeah, that's what Hinataya does too. But I can't do it in my brain. I'm really bad at Skull because of that. I love Skull though.
Yeah, it's fun.
Floor Plan is another roll and write. I've only played this one once. It looked really appealing, and I like it, but Hinataya wasn't a super big fan, so we haven't played it since. And a lot of roll and writes, even though they say you can play it one player, I just don't. I like beating someone. Deck of cards. Nuts!
Oh.
Game about literally you just collect nuts. There's a card in it called D's Nuts. It's like a really simple game. It's fine though. It's fun enough. Mm-hmm. Monopoly Deal, the only way to play Monopoly. It's pretty good actually. No Thanks. Worst title ever made because every time I ask any of my friends to play No Thanks, they just go, no thanks, and then I go cry in the room. But pretty good game. All you do is you either take a card, and then those are worth that many points then, or you put one of your little tokens on it and you go, no thanks! Tempura, another game where you're either going to take the stack of cards or you play a card that's likewise. That's another one of my older games. I've had it for probably like, oh god, I'm old. 8 years now? Fuck.
Oh,
wow. Coup. I really liked Coup, and then I played it like 100 times, and I really didn't like Coup, but then I didn't play it for like 2 years, so now I'm back to really liking Coup. Love Letter Hobbit. Love Letter's really good. It just takes forever. Like I would say it's welcome like every time I play it. But it's good until that point. One Deck Dungeon, another solo game I really enjoy. I've only played it solo. I feel like I would enjoy it 2-player co-op. But for a little simple solo game you can take on the go for you, you just pop this open, you roll your dice, you play your cards, easy peasy lemon squeezy. You gotta be kidding me. This is old. It got ripped up and destroyed. It's just liar's dice, but instead of dice, you have pictures of kittens with hats and bow ties and pictures of dogs with like glasses. Super Fight, probably the best Cards Against Humanity style game. Uses a lot of voting instead of just someone picking what the edgiest answer is. You argue whether your character would fight and win against the other character. Rhino Hero, reverse Jenga with cards that you put little rhinos on. Dumb, stupid, fun. I have 2 of the games in the bug collection, I would call it. Cockroach Poker, a classic game. I think one of my favorite like little party games. You're just lying. It's just all lying or telling the truth. You're just giving people cards and telling them what they are. Cheating Moth is pretty much like Uno. You're trying to get rid of all your cards. You can play one higher, one lower than the card, but you can cheat, and somebody's watching you cheat. The Crew is another cooperative trick-taking game where you want certain people to win certain tricks. Pretty good. I think we're like 6 missions deep out of like 50. It's really, really easy right now, so I needed to kind of ramp up to really grasp it, but I like the bones of it. This game is my favorite game of all time, which it's a really simple like auction game where you're buying houses and then you're flipping them, which I hate in real life. Fuck flippers, but classic game. Speaking of flippers, here's a fish.
Yeah.
I really like Happy Salmon, but it's a game that you're trying to get rid of all your cards, and you're doing that by doing the action on the cards. So you're high-fiving, you're running around, and I'm 24, soon to be 25, and all of my friends are 24 or 25 now. So unfortunately, all our bones are now dust, so nobody wants to get up and move when we play a game. 3 different versions of Railroad Ink. The only one I'm missing is the lush green one. Classic roll and write. I really, really like roll and writes. And I apparently really like spending my money on the same game 3 times or 4 times. God damn it. Little Simple Deck Builder, Abandoned All Artichokes. It's a fun one. There are a couple of these games that you'll see, like this one lives in my car. I take it up to like restaurants with me and my partner. We just play it there. Spirit Island. It's on like number 2 on Board Game Geek. It's really popular. It's really, really good. I didn't play it for like 4... I bought it in 2018, played it like 5 times, and then didn't play it again until like 2 months ago. But it's really good still.
Oh, shit.
Power Rangers! Rangers United with a price tag on it. And then back here is Tommy Oliver, like the Green Ranger stuff. Kind of like... We'll talk about that game a little later, but Ghost Stories. It's a really fun cooperative game where you're just fighting the putties and Rita Repulsa and all these baddies that come after you. It's really hard. Like, it's pretty difficult, but it's very fun and engaging. Let's talk about the bulk real quick, because those were a lot of small games. Imperial Assault, 1 versus many game. So fucking good. But the setup's tremendous. It's, especially if I was always playing as the Imperials, so I have to set up everything, and it just takes so much out of me that I'm like, oh, here, I'm going to spend 30 minutes setting up this game to play for like an hour. But every game is always fun. This is my Reiner Knizia shelf. One of probably my second favorite designer after Uwe Rosenberg. I don't have a lot of his games right now, but what I do have, I really like. Callisto, simple little game where you're trying to play the most of your color pieces on it, and you're trying to kind of trap your opponents so they can't play theirs. My City's a legacy tile placement game where your board changes as you win more and more and you lose more and more. Really enjoy that one. We haven't finished our campaign yet. I think we're about halfway through. Stevenson's Rocket I've only played once right now because I picked it up on a sale for $5 a couple months ago. Really, really good though. Not really. It looks like a train game. There's a lot of like train pieces, but a lot of it is more an economic game. Blue Moon City. You're trying to build a city back up. The dragons are happy that you're building the city. Woohoo! These are all my different roll-and rights. Not going to go into those. Like Dino World's in there. A couple other in there. Boom! Terra Mystica. One of the best games ever made. I fucking love this game. The power... The way they do power pools in this game is like just nothing I've ever seen before. It's so addicting to try to learn the intricacies of Terra Mystica. Behind it are 2 expansions. Behind Imperial Assault are a couple expansions. I just like to face things because I'm cool and epic. We talked about Cartographers. This is its big brother role player where you are rolling dice and allocating them to different slots, and you're pretty much growing your stats for a player. I actually really want to try to play like a D&D campaign where you build your character through role player and where you build the map through Cartographers. I think that'd be a fun thing to do. One of the games I haven't played yet from that sale, Mississippi Queen, you all play as boats on the Mississippi River racing. It seems fun. I've read the rules. I almost played it like 2 weeks ago. We just decided to watch a movie instead. Camelot. Have you played that one? That's a game Thomas would really like. You bet on camels.
Oh.
You bet on camel racing. It's very dumb. Very fun. Jug Cart. Kind of like reverse Jenga. You're building up towers with a bunch of different shit. Like it's just garbage in the box. There's just a bunch of garbage. Lord of the Rings Journeys of Middle-earth is, I think, like my second or third favorite game at this point. I have all the big expansions behind it. We have done all the big campaigns. We have probably 50 hours logged on it. So much fun. Pretty small setup for what it is. Because you pretty much set up as you go. Mm-hmm. And just really addicting gameplay. I like a lot of the Fantasy Flight like gameplay loops though. So you'll see a lot of Fantasy Flight throughout here. Istanbul, the dice game. I played Istanbul, the regular game, quite a bit ago. Enjoyed it. The dice game is the only one I could find at the store, so I bought it. I think it's great. I don't really want to get Istanbul, the card, like the regular game right now, because I get just enough enjoyment from the dice game. Race for the Galaxy. Little simple civilization builder in space. I like the action sequencing in this game a lot. It's a game that I really want to love, and every time I play it, I enjoy it, but it just doesn't come to the table as much. Speaking of things that don't come to the table, BattleCon. Really, really cool dueling game that nobody ever wants to play with me. Thomas, I'm going to teach you how to play really, really heavy games.
Oh.
Dice Forge. You're going to see a lot of deck builders coming up soon. Dice Forge is interesting because it's a dice builder. All the different pieces come off of the dice. You put new faces on them. Very fun. I like it. Isle of Cats. Do you get it? Isle of Cats? Like Isle of Dogs? It's not up anymore.
Oh.
We used to have a poster of Isle of Dogs over behind Tom's, but it's gone. I love cats. Tile laying game where you're protecting cats and put them on a boat to take. Dominion Intrigue. Found this at Goodwill. No, Value Village the other day for $5. Everything was in it except for one single card. Hell yeah. Boo-boo.
Mm.
Dominion's so good and the art's so fucking bad. The granddaddy of deck builders. Still one of the best, especially with the expansions. But the best deck builder, in my opinion, is Trains. I love that game so much. I have Rising Suns, the expansion, and I have Coastal Tides, which just adds more expansion to it. Probably one of my most played deck builders, and every time I play it, I'm just like, that's just so cool! And then I just bought this one, Automobiles. I finally found one. It's been out of print for a while. It's really expensive usually, but I found one. I think it's missing one bag in it, but that's about it. They did a whole cycle. They did Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
No,
so now that I have two of them, I think I need to get Planes. Even though I'm pretty sure Planes is considered the worst one, by far.
Mm.
And it's pretty much just Moncala, which I have a Moncala board somewhere over here that we'll see. It's down there. Okay. But, oh well. Another one I got for $5. Toy Story, the deck builder. It has the same system as the Harry Potter deck builder that came out a couple of years ago. And I think it's infinitely more funnier if I buy the Toy Story one. I've only played one mission of it so far. Pretty good. Millennium Blades is Yu-Gi-Oh! You live Yu-Gi-Oh! Mm-hmm. It's a simulator where you pretty much live in a TCG. It's weird and fun. Takes 3 hours. Love it so much, though. So, some of these games, I don't get out very much, but when I do, it's just that's the greatest thing ever. Galaxy Trucker, only played a couple of times. Tile laying game where you're building a spaceship, and then you take the spaceship on a mission, and then it might explode. Everdell, simple worker placement game, but very beautiful. Probably the prettiest game I've ever seen, artwork-wise. Very pretty. We have some upgraded stuff in there, too. This is upside down. Look at that little owl guy. That looks like Thomas. Hey, I'm Thomas Griffin, everybody.
That's exactly what I sound like.
And then these next two shelves are all unmatched. I have all the current unmatched that are out. That is actually the same system that Star Wars Epic Duels has. What Restoration Games does is they take old game systems and they revive them. And Unmatched is so much fun. I love the Battle of Legends Volume 2. The Jurassic Park set, the new one, the Dr. Sattler versus T-Rex, is really good. I really like how Moon Knight plays. And there's a bunch of different IPs, but then there's also a bunch of different public domain characters. So it's just a lot of fun to be what if these two fought? But it's not just badly written fan fiction. It's you can tell the story. It's a board game. Bonanza is a bean trading game by Uwe Rosenberg. This box is so bad, but this game is incredible. I love this game so much. Bosk, you're laying out little trees, and then you're getting points depending on where the sun falls on the trees, and the most trees in different rows, and how the leaves fall. It's weird. but very fun. I like it. Another one that I bought for like $5. Another one I bought for like $5. Flotilla. It takes like 2.5 hours, and it takes at least 3 players, so I haven't gotten to the table yet. But I watched a couple of gameplay videos, and it looks really cool. Evolution. You are forcing different species to evolve, and you're just trying to make the best species. You're trying to evolve the best. It's pretty groovy. Speaking of pretty groovy, here's Zoo Loretto. Look at him. A zoo-themed, pretty much reskin of Coloretto, but in my opinion, a better game because zoos are cool. Zoos are cool in premise. Zoos are cool in board game.
There we go.
There we go. There's also a new game called Ark Nova that I really want, where you build like a future zoo. Zoo Tycoon is cool. Virtual zoos are cool. I'm really backtracking here.
Yeah.
Mystic Veil is in its Conclave box that I got for 30% off because it was beaten up pretty badly right here. This deck builder is pretty cool because all of the cards are like translucent. So you have these big cards in sleeves, and then you slot in different upgrades. It's cool. It's cool. It feels gimmicky at first, but it plays really interestingly. Tales of Arabian Nights is an older game that I've had for a long time. You go through the different adventures of like the Arabian Nights, and it's a storytelling game. It takes a long time. I think it's really fun. It's lost a lot of that luster that I first had for it when I first had it. Summoner Wars. There's just fucking things all over. Summoner Wars, 1v1 dueling like card games. That might be the best one. I really, really like this game. Bunny Kingdom, the best Richard Garfield game. Fuck Magic the Gathering. I like Bunny Kingdom. Drafting game-wise, when you want a little more oomph to it, best one right there. Castles of Mad King Ludwig used to be my favorite game. It's a tile-laying game where you're building a castle for the Mad King Ludwig. And it's all about adjacency bonuses and making weird shapes work together. And it's really, really good. The setup's a little but it's really good. Got this for like $1. TMNT Dice Masters. Good game. TMNT City Fall they did a kind of adventures thing. I can't remember what it was called a few years ago, but this is kind of the rebrand that they tried to make it more eternal so they could make more expansions that fit together with it. And it's good. It's another one versus many, so one person plays as the Foot Clan and Shredder and all the folks, and the other people play as the good guys. Carcassonne. Carcassone's another one of those like granddaddies of board gaming. That would be for tile laying. I have the big box here. It's so funny because there's so much empty space in this box. Like, if I open this box, there's all the tiles.
Oh, wow.
It can easily fit in like the original box for Carcassonne, which I have, I think, in the other room, in like my spare bedroom, in the office, in the Screenweens Incorporated office.
Wow.
But the game's really cool, and I like the look of the big box, so I'm just going to keep it for now. I might put it in the smaller box later. Paris New Eden, newer purchase, fun little like worker placement game. It's pretty good. Watergate. One person plays as the Watergate Man, and the other people play as the people that don't like the Watergate Man? Why wouldn't you like the Watergate Man? I love two-player games. That one's really fun. Founding Fathers is a 3 to 5 player game where you're making the Constitution. It's fun. It's good. Twilight Struggle, 3-hour, 2-player Cold War simulation game. All about hand management. Does that sound fun to you, Thomas?
The hand management?
The 3-hour, 2-player Cold War simulator.
Maybe on the right day.
It's the best game ever made. Maybe not that far, but that game's so fucking good. Here's another game I got on sale. I bought it because it has a cat on it. You can say it likes cats. Fireworks. You're rolling dice into a bin with flipped over tiles, and you want the dice to hit the bin and flip the tiles over. Really gimmicky.
Whoa.
But it's okay. It's fun. Moncala. Cat. Splendor. Older game. Really, really popular with the kiddos. I think I have a lot of games that scratch the same itch as Splendor that are better, but I think Splendor is still good. It has expansion in there. I had Joe 3D print me a holder for everything because there was so much empty room in this again.
Mm-hmm.
But this holds both that and the expansion, so I'm happy with that. Kapow is a game that I met the creator of when they were first playtesting it. He came to the island that I was living on. And it's Larry Bogucki. It's another dice builder. So you're playing as superheroes fighting each other, and you're building dice up and getting new dice. And it's one of those satisfying games where you're just rolling like 20 dice at a time. Santorini, you're playing as different gods and trying to build up towers for them. It's good. Or I guess you're playing as builders of gods, and the gods are blessing you with their power. 3 different unlock games. Kind of getting newer into Unlock more recently. Played through these. Haven't finished the Star Wars one yet. They're pretty good. I like puzzle games. I don't like games that you only play once. Like, ethically, I guess these are okay because you can just kind of re-gift them. But ethically, kind of sus. Codenames. It has Codenames Deep Undercover, Codenames Marvel, and Codenames Disney in there. I just kind of shoved them all in. Good game. Made by Vlaada Chvátil, who's done like a bunch of big games like Mage Knight, and then he made fucking Codenames. But Codenames is great. 5 Second Rule, Pierre's favorite fucking game. He will not stop talking about fucking 5 Second Rule. Hues and Cues, Pierre's least favorite game because he's colorblind. A game where you're giving a clue based on a word, and they have to guess what color you're thinking of because of that word. It's fun. Not to play with colorblind people, though.
Oh, well.
There's a lot of, well, it's kind of fun to play with Pierre because he's like, I'm just going to guess it's here. There's a lot of like games that it's like, this needs better accommodation for colorblind people. I don't really feel like if the game is based around color, I don't think that's necessary because like, that's just how the game's played. There's no really way to accommodate that. So, but I think most board games are getting better at accommodation for colorblind people, which is good. Telestrations After Dark. Thomas's favorite game.
I do quite like
because he draw a card.
I draw
Thomas
funny pee.
Draw funny pee. Get the points. Monikers, one of my favorite party games, doesn't get played enough because nobody likes me. Queen Domino and King Domino, tile laying games at their best. Hell yeah, motherfucker. By the same guy who made Seven Wonders, if I remember correctly, which King Domino, when it was coming out, I'm a big hater of Seven Wonders, so I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking play that shit. But King Domino is really good. Just making like a 5x5 grid. Airship City, I've only played once. Got it at that $5 sale. But it's pretty cool. It's nice and minimalistic. You're just building airships and then selling them and then building more airships. Probably the only war game I own, I think. War of the Ring. I got a lot of Lord of the Rings shit. What the fuck? Nerd. Takes like 4 hours to play. I played it twice. But that was like, they're so good. It's so good. I think I won the second game, lost the first game, but really, really good. Dice Throne. All 8 of the stuff that's not the Marvel stuff, because I haven't gotten the Marvel ones yet. Really, really good. I think it's really good at 2 players. A little less good at 3 and 4. Escape from the Aliens in Outer Space. One of the first games I bought when I moved to Washington. One versus many, or I guess team-based game where it's hidden movement, where humans are trying to get to the... Hidden movement game where humans are trying to get to the escape pods and aliens are trying to eat them. Quacks of Quedlinburg, a bag management game where you're putting a bunch of tokens into a bag and pulling... Hey. We're recording a video right now. Give me like 5 minutes. Thanks. Bag. Stronghold. Another game I bought on sale and haven't played yet. I buy a lot of games. I hate the side of this, but this is the Hero Realms Adventure Storage Box. Wouldn't know it from the side. This has Hero Realms, all the character packs, And the first round of the co-op stuff, I haven't got the new one. It also has Star Realms in there because I didn't want Star Realms somewhere else. I haven't played it. Catapult Feud. You launch catapults at each other's castles.
Ooh.
I wish I had that game when I was like 5. It's pretty sick. Dice drafting allocation game Sagrada. You're building stained glass windows. Health to the fucking yeah. Kitchen Rush. Me, Hinata, and Joe play this one a lot. You are... It's like Overcooked in board game form. So you're using different hourglasses to like build things and make food as quickly as possible. It's pretty addicting and pretty fun. This one is one that I've only played once because it's kind of a behemoth of a game. Cerebria. It's a team-based game, so one team is playing as the good parts of a person, and the other team is playing as like the depressed parts of a person, and you're trying to either make them a sadder person or a better person. It's kind of goofy, but really cool. It's just hard to get big games to the table sometimes. Speaking of big games, I've only got to the table once. Wasteland Express delivery service. Kind of like a delivery, like pick up and deliver system based in like Mad Max world. Good. Yamatai. Games that it's out of print, made by Bruno Cathala again, so the guy that did like Seven Wonders and Queen Domino and King Domino. You are setting up like trade routes with boats throughout Japan. Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Honey Buzz. Building a hive. Swag. It's good. Very cute. I like building things. It's Sabacc.
Oh?
It's just called the Han Solo card game for some reason. How many pictures of my feet are you getting, by the way? For the OnlyFans.
I'm sure I've got a couple shots.
I wish they had just called it Sabacc. I wish that box was better. And I also wish it was Pazaak, because Pazaak is infinitely better than Sabacc. Star Wars Outer Rim. Classic game. I have the expansion in there because Fantasy Flight likes to do a thing where they release like half a game that's really, really good, but they don't release the other half until the expansion, so they can make more money. Ticket to Ride and Ticket to Ride London, because my name's London. Classic. Ticket to Ride is the first board game that really got me into the hobby. It will stay in my collection forever because of that. And it's still pretty good. Shorten Totten 2 by Reiner Knizia. He's back.
Oh.
Little 1-versus-1 game where one person's attacking, one person's defending. A trick-taking game where you're trying to lay out like one of a kind or three of a kind or a straight or something like that to try to beat your opponents. Radlands, another kind of Mad Max style game where it's just a 1v1 game where you're trying to destroy each other's bases. Biblios reminds me a lot of First Sale. You're playing as monks that are trying to rebuild like the church. Cool theme, cool gameplay. I think I still like For Sale better. This one has a little more depth to it, but in that sense, I don't like it as much. Iron Curtain, classic, more Cold War games. Kind of like Twilight Struggle in like 10 minutes. I like it. Probably won't be in my collection in like a year. Also, look how bad... This game's only like 18 cards. This box is terrible. Board game boxes are awful. Fun fact. Thomas doesn't like... He's not in the board game world, so he doesn't understand. Board game boxes, they make them bigger all the time just to have like shelf space. So, you see them at a board game store. But like this could have been half this size. Shot Totten's okay. Radlands is pretty good. Biblios is another one that does not need to be nearly that big. Seven Wonders Duel, they knew they were making expansions, so I'm like fine with this. Like I said, I don't like Seven Wonders at all. And I'd heard Seven Wonders Duel was just incredible for so long. I picked it up like 2 days ago. And it's pretty good. Like Cockroach Poker and Cheating Moth, this is a bigger version. This is Cocker-Locken Duel. It's really dumb. It's literally just, you're just guessing which one's the green ones and which one's the red ones. And your opponent's trying to like play mind games. It's just mind games over and over again. We're almost there, Thomas. We've almost made it. I just can't stop talking about board games. Aeon's End Outcasts. Cooperative Deck Builder. It's pretty good. There's this really big Aeon's End I want to get, but I want to play through all of Outcast first. I think we've done like 4 of the missions so far. This is the game I cannot get to the table. Space Alert I've owned for like 4 years. And I set it up. I'll set it up, I'll learn the rules, and then nobody will want to play. Even if we were like, we're going to play a game tonight. It's just they're not feeling it. This game's cursed. I'll never be able to play this fucking game.
Well, I mean, who wants to play it when it's right next to the greatest IP of all time?
Kung Fu Panda, the board game. It is probably the greatest IP of all time. Another cooperative game. It's like real time where you're rolling dice as fast as possible to try to like kill people. It's fun. We played it like twice. It's fun.
Hell yeah, skadoosh.
Ghost Stories I had talked about a little bit ago in reference to Power Rangers. You're going through the deck fighting ghosts. You all play as like Taoist monks, using different abilities to fight the ghosts. You're just like, real life Power Rangers. Spot It Party. Yep, you thought Spot It was gone, but guess what? This one has a big hand in it.
Oh, jeez.
That's literally the only reason I bought it. Another one that I bought from that estate sale for like $2. Legendary, another one of the first deck builders I bought. This has a bunch of Legendary in it. Not all of it, because I don't need any more Legendary. I have enough of it.
What?
It's really good. Setup's kind of a hassle. I have dividers in it that divide everything really well, though, so its setup's better. Marvel Champions is mostly replaced Legendary for me. They're not deck builder. This one's not a deck builder. You build your deck beforehand, but it's still a cooperative game where you're using cards, and all the characters feel really different and very fun. Dixit. Thomas loves this game. Have you played this game? This is the one with the tarot-sized cards. You're telling everybody what different things remind you of. Like, that reminds me of Pierre.
I think I vaguely remember playing it that one time.
More board game content coming to Screenwing soon. Corridor. You're trying to get from one end to the other, and the other person's laying out little pieces to stop you. Like trapping you like a rat in a maze. Ooh. The Bob Ross game, Art of Chill. Bought this when I first moved to Washington. I like it's a little hand management game where you're just trying to get different sets of colors that match the painting, and you paint different fixtures. Funfair, kind of the lighter, fluffier version of a game called Unfair, where you're building an amusement park, but you're really mean to each other. This one, you're always nice to each other. This one came out after. We didn't have any copies of Unfair. We couldn't get any. So I'm like, I'll just try Funfair. Kind of wish I had gotten Unfair. Because in general, I'm just kind of a mean person when it comes to board games. I just like being mean. And then 5-minute dungeon, last one. You go through a dungeon in 5 minutes, and if you don't win, you lose.
What?
Wow, yeah. Really, really, really iconic stuff there. I'm really bad at that game. Maybe it's just because we're mean to each other, but we cannot communicate very well with each other. And then finally, of course, Jenga. Anyway, that's my board games. I probably forgot one. There's probably one sitting in a room somewhere, but yeah, I got a lot of them. And I don't play nearly enough of them. But good news is me and Thomas are about to play all of them right now.
Oh.
All right. Bye, everyone.